Welcome, podcast listeners. This is episode number 38. You are here with your host, Budget Pedal Chap, and your other host, Mr. Matt Quine. Say hi, Matt. Hi, Matt.
Hi. Hi, Matt.
Hi, Matt. You know what? It gets better every week. I changed my mind. It's good. How are you, man?
Yeah, not too bad. Just about alive again today.
Indeed. So, yeah, tell us what's been going on with you this week. I mean, walk us through after the hangover of last week to now.
Well, I managed to avoid the hangover by 24 hours by waking up and drinking again on the Saturday.
Hardcore.
But that did mean that I had the hangover from hell on the Sunday.
Yeah.
I basically was a write-off for pretty much all of last weekend for anything guitar related because I was either drunk or hungover.
Yeah, I mean, it's how some people spend their weekends, so...
and I wouldn't choose to do it every weekend, but it was nice to do it for the first time in a long time.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and then didn't do much early on in the week, then got neurovirus and died on Wednesday. And then Thursday, I was off work. I was finished with the symptoms, but a bit run down. Couldn't be asked with sat watching TV, so I just spent about 8 hours playing the guitar.
Shit, man.
Which is the most I've spent playing the guitar in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
Probably since I was a teenager.
Yeah, I used to have days like that where I'd lock myself in a room and just keep playing. I didn't actually start playing guitar until I was much later on. But I used to have days where I'd be off uni. And instead of, catching up with uni work, doing any necessary reading, fuck that. I'd lock myself in a room and learn like 3 songs a week for my covers band. And,
Good way to go.
Yeah, well, I'm better now than I would have been if I didn't do that, so...
Yeah, it was good. And I picked an album that's one of my favourite albums. The album, I think, is called Roll Away. It's by Backdoor Slam, which is a band that I've banged on about for the last 3 or 4 weeks. Because I saw them live about 6 months into me playing.
Yeah.
When I was at that kind of cusp as to whether I was going to give up or whether I was going to properly knuckle down and start playing the guitar. Went and saw them live. Wanted to knuckle down and play the guitar. And yeah, I kind of picked the album that they were their first album. I think it's called Roll Away.
Yeah.
Went through it, learned 4 or 5 tracks from it, just spent time jamming over the top of them or playing the riffs as well, and just kind of falling back in love with playing some blues rock again. Oh,
yeah. I mean, I'm a huge advocate for blues rock, and I definitely need to check out Backdoor Slam. I was meaning to since last week, but now I've got to do it now. Yeah,
I mean, there's some cracking riffs. From that album, I would pick Come Home and It'll All Come Around as songs to check out that are just kind of like proper blues rock, proper in your face, proper rock and roll kind of. Got a bit of attitude about them as well as kind of being all about instruments rather than whatever modern music is about.
I don't even know, man. I don't even know. It's about partying, isn't it? And who can get the drunkest?
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't listened to music since probably about the 90s. Not properly, anyway.
No. I did mid-2000s was probably my cut-off for modern music. I kind of secretly am a bit of an indie fan. The Killers and Arctic Monkeys and all that stuff. And I know a lot of criticism I would get for saying that I quite like that music, but it was still written with instruments.
Yeah,
and there was still meaning behind a lot of it.
They hold up quite well, actually. I went through a little bit of a phase of rediscovering some of that stuff because back then I kind of wrote that stuff off because it was it was very mainstream. It was being played on Kerrang, which was a radio station at the time.
Yeah.
And like my perception of Kerrang was like heavier stuff. It was like a real dissonance between the Kerrang TV channel, which was all like Slipknot and kind of the heavier side of stuff, and then Kerrang Radio, which was all just indie pop. So I kind of hated the stuff back then because of the kind of the disconnect between the two Kerrangs. But I rediscovered some of it recently, and it holds up pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, I've just been going back through a lot of my sort of like mid-2000s indie stuff. Found a box of CDs from when I moved out like 18 months ago. Finally getting to like moving some of the boxes, and I've been playing things like Franz Ferdinand's first album and the Pigeon Detectives and the Kooks, and I love it all.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some pretty well written songs amongst that lot, isn't there? I mean, there's some shit as well. Don't get me wrong, but
there is some terrible nothingness, but there's also some really quite well crafted stuff and some pretty good guitar playing in some of it as well.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave my guitar heroes to the likes of Clapton, and it's just, in fact, I saw something from Jeff Beck this week, and he's a guitarist who's largely fallen under the radar for me, and he was playing, what's the song called? Gary Moore did a cover of it, and I can't remember for the life of me what it's called. But I heard Jeff Beck doing it, and it's he's got a fantastic feel. It's all about that feel.
He's a fantastic musician.
His haircut's crap, but he can play the instrument, can't he?
He certainly can.
So yeah, I mean, I've done a few things this week. Almost segueing from Jeff Beck. He played a Les Paul once, didn't he?
He's more of a Strat guy. I mean, everybody raves over his trem arm techniques, don't they?
They do.
He was kind of the pioneer of trem arms, so that's not really a Les Paul thing, is it?
Well, Gibson did a Jeff Beck signature Les Paul about 5 years ago. In I think the finish was Oxblood. So I mean, he's known for his Strat, but he's got affinities with the Les Paul. And this week, I got my Les Paul back from the Guitar Doctor, the Tone Wizard, and I finally got the blends put in the Les Paul. I know the blends are good because I've played them before, but in the Les Paul, oh mummy. Yeah.
What everybody needs to be able to do is see the grin on your face as you say, "Oh."
I know. Yeah, it's almost CD, isn't it?
It's those pickups, from everything that I've heard about them, they sound fantastic, and I can't wait to have a set myself.
Yeah, because you're having them in your SG, aren't you?
I am
in Moog's SG. Yeah, I mean, which I saw you playing today, didn't I, Matt?
You did. I posted a response to your video lesson.
Yeah,
on your YouTube channel.
Yeah, I did So the intro music to the podcast that you are listening to right now has got a lick, which goes. It's probably better than that.
Pretty perfect.
It's a D Mixolydian riff, and I thought, you know what, I'll let people know how I did that. And then Matt rose to that challenge.
I did.
And you played it on the SG as well, which gives you bonus points.
Hey.
Yeah.
What do points win?
I don't know. We'll find out later. I'll create some complex point scoring system, and someone might win a prize. I tell you what.
Is it going to be a pedal with a penis drawn on it?
It won't be, because that costs me money. The option to come on the podcast, and currently Matt's winning, so
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what the prize is going to be. I don't even know if I will do a prize, but I want to see people's video responses, because it's a wicked riff, like a little lick, sorry, and it's harder than it appears. Maybe, I don't know. Some of you out there will just absolutely nail it and put me to shame, but who knows? So yeah, I did that, and the riff was recorded on the Vox guitar, wasn't it? That weird Vox.
It was, yeah.
Vox SG-ish thing. I've done another couple of videos this week using those Fletcher blend pickups. So next couple of weeks they'll be out with all of that beautiful, beautiful tone. That was not the only thing that I got from Fletcher this week, actually. He's lent me another couple of guitars and an amp.
Ooh, nice.
Yep. I mean, he's not going into amp building as well. He does guitars, he does guitar pickups. He's not now going to go into amp building, but he's built a little a Fender Champ clone, and he built an attenuator to go with it, and the attenuator's got a brilliant name. He called it the Asbo. I thought it was. It's so childish and funny. Just, I love it.
It's witty, is what it is.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. And yeah, the amp itself, I had a quick blast with it this week. I haven't tested it extensively, but I had a quick blast. And of course, because I had an Asbo attenuator, I thought the best way to test it is by turning it up, cranking it right up to 10, and using the attenuator as a volume control. And that's what I did.
Which is how amps are designed to work, isn't it?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, it's clean for a good sweep of the volume control, because the Champ is like a, well, I believe anyway, I've never played a Fender Champ, but it's a one control. It is literally just volume. No other controls, just volume. So you can get more or less of it. Yeah, well, that's it, isn't it? And like when you get it right to the top, it gets that kind of flubby low end, broken, farty speaker sound, the kind that you get in just old blues music. And it was great, loved it. So yeah, Fender Champs or Fletcher Champs. Look out for them. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if he's going to go to production with them, but yeah, he lent it to me, and I've been having fun with that. What I have not had fun with this week, I've done more pedal building, haven't I? Well, I say pedal building, pedal breaking this week. So last week or 2 weeks ago, I mentioned that I'd built the green octave, the green Manalishi octave, and I was in the testing phase, and the testing of it worked, and I was like overjoyed the fact that I'd built something that worked. I've gone to put it in the enclosure this week, and it stopped working.
Still working? It's still working? No, it's not still working.
No, it's not still working. It stopped working, and nothing makes you want to scream more than when a pedal you had it there and it was working. And I put the job off for a while. Actually, I had the circuit in kind of test mode, and just left it there for a couple of days, thinking, well, it's working now. My job's done. But then I finally plucked up the impetus to put it in the enclosure, and it's now not working. So I have to go through the monotonous and frustrating job of finding out what I've fucked up and if I can fix it. Yeah. So.
I mean, there's an easier way to do these kind of things. And what you do is you get somebody else to build the pedal for you. And then you just have to find out when something stops working. You find out which one of the pedals is not working in your pedal board.
Yeah.
And you take that one off the board. That's the way I do it.
Well, yeah, I mean, my tagline for my pedal company should be, I scream at the pedals so you don't have to. Because, I mean, that seems to be what's going on at the moment. But, hey ho.
The best way to...
Yeah, I mean...
Best way to get them working.
Yeah, I'm saving you guys the added stress and essentially the early grave that pedal building is giving me. Yeah. But I'm not the only one who's had pedal woes this week. My good friend Adam Yeomans was on 2 weeks ago, I think it was, saying how he...
Last week? He was on last week.
Was he?
Because it was Drunk Matt.
Oh, it was.
He was on with Drunk Matt.
Oh yeah, of course he was. Yeah, sorry. I'm all over the shop. Yeah, he was. He was actually sat next to me. Of course he was. And he'd just bought his first pedal kit and was putting it together the next day. And on that Saturday, kind of mid-afternoon, he sent me a message. It's not working. I mean, I was distraught for the chap, but there was a small part inside of me that was saying, "Thank God it's not just me that does this." So,
horrible man.
You told me this enough times last week, Matt. I'm well aware that I'm a horrible person. So yeah, I've been helping Adam diagnose what was wrong with his pedal, and we got to the bottom of it, and he fixed it, and it's now working. He's just got to wait on a part for the switch, and his will be in an enclosure, and it will work, and it'll be fine. And yeah, so pedal building, not that easy. Not that easy. Don't attempt it.
I mean,
no one try it.
You're just saying that so that when you get into it fully and start production, there's less competition, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm protecting my market here, I suppose. No, it honestly, it's great fun. But if you know that you're not the kind of person who can sit there and patiently work through problems, pedal building is not for you. To be honest, I didn't think I was the kind of person who'd do that. So yeah, pedal building has made me that person. It also makes me scream more than I ever have in my life. So take from that what you will. Anyway, this week we have got a topic about stuff.
We do.
Yeah. So I was watching something on YouTube today. I was watching That Pedal Show. They were doing a comparison between two different Telecasters. One of the hosts, Dan, owns a red Telecaster. It's a custom shop jobby. I think it's a 63 spec Telecaster. And he then bought a 50 spec Telecaster, like the Blackguard Butterscotch Telecaster, and they were comparing the two. And it was wonderful. And I was thinking, like, yeah, the Telecaster's the one for me. But then I started, like, just picking up on little things and thinking, it is the one for me, but I'd change that. And I'd change that. And they did that wrong, didn't they? So I thought, let's get a little bit analytical of our favourite instruments and pick apart the bits that we really, really wish weren't the way that they are. So, Matt, what's your favourite instrument that you own, or your favourite instrument shape?
The favourite instrument I own is the Cabronita Telecaster, and my favourite shape is a Fender Telecaster. But if we're going to go down the route of what would I do to improve it, or what have they done wrong,
Yeah.
I kind of have to admit that despite my love of Telecasters, they're not actually my favourite guitar, because everything I want about a guitar is it needs humbuckers, because I'm not a single coil person.
Yeah, so I mean that rules out a telly straight away. Well, it rules out your standard telly.
Yeah, I prefer a set neck over a bolt on, because I think you get slightly more sustain. So again, that rules out a Telecaster.
Rules out. Yeah.
And as much as I love my telly that doesn't have the stupid telly bridge, I think string through bodies are stupid because of the break angle of the strings at the body just causes all of my strings to snap at the bridge, because they're almost at 90 degrees rather than that flat angle.
Yeah.
So basically what I'm saying is my favourite guitar is a Telecaster shaped Les Paul.
I mean, they do those, don't they? I mean, they've recently done that twisted. It's not twisted telly, is it? It's the parallel universe telly.
Yeah. And if that was a set neck, I think that would probably be the perfect instrument for me.
Is that not a set neck then? Is that a
No, they're still bolt on Fender style.
Holy shit balls, man!
But yeah, I think if what they did was they did that without the stupid flame makeable cap, I don't want that. I just want a plain top Telecaster with a, what are they called? Those bridges?
Tunamatics.
Tunamatic. That's it. Tunamatic bridge, 2 humbuckers, set neck, rosewood board or ebony board if you can, because I'm not sure which one of the. I'd probably take an ebony board, to be honest with you. So basically, I want a Les Paul that's shaped like a Telecaster.
I mean, they're not worlds apart, are they? Though I mean, they're both single cut. They've both kind of got fat arses.
But the Les Paul's just a little bit too rounded, and because of the maple cap on them, they look terrible when they're not in either black or sunburst colours. Whereas you can get away with a Telecaster being like neon pink if you wanted, or you can. I just don't like the way Les Pauls look when they're not either in a nice burst or black. I don't know what it is. It just if they were the Telecaster shape, they'd be perfect.
Maybe you want like a special or like a junior, but with buckers, so that you can get away with the odd colours.
Yeah, and then maybe just shave the sides down so that it looks like a Telecaster.
So yeah, I mean, essentially what you're saying is you love the Telecaster, but you don't like anything about the Telecaster.
I love the Telecaster shape, but just not the rest of it.
I mean, I love the Telecaster a little bit more than you, and it is my go-to. Like my number one is the ESP TE212, which fixes some of the drawbacks of the Telecaster. Actually, it's got a recessed heel that's off at an angle rather than like parallel to the neck, so there's a bit more upper fret access, which it's cool. I mean, it's a drawback with most bolt-on neck instruments. They usually have like a chunky heel, but I mean, the things that gripe me about the Telecaster, mainly the bridge. And I know that almost 90% of the Telecaster sound comes from the fact that it's got a steel bridge. So it's not that. I love the fact that the pickup's mounted to something steel. However, if you want to do any work on a Telecaster, the fact that you have to take the entire bridge off to access the bridge pickup is a giant pain in the arse. I mean, I switched out the pickups in my in that TE212, and the bridge pickup just pissed me off royally. So I would change the bridge. Maybe so it's two parts. So you've got the actual bridge system where the strings go over the saddles being one part, and then a metal mounting plate for the bridge pickup. So you wouldn't have to remove the bridge. I mean, it just seems fucking stupid. I mean, I'm feeling a Matt rant getting on here. My very own Matt rant. And while we're on the bridge, three saddle bridges, like the two strings per saddle. That was a stupid idea, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I totally agree. The three saddle bridges are just a nightmare. Even if you get those compensated ones, you're never ever going to get the strings totally intonated. So you can either get the uncompensated ones and have one string intonated and the next one not, or you can have two slightly less further out, but still out strings. It makes no sense.
Yeah, definitely. I know that what they call G&L, basically Fender after Fender, have made a 6-saddle version of it where the individual saddles are still brass, so you still get that brass saddle tone, but you can intonate the buggers.
I mean, that just sounds like a far better solution.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind the modern Telecaster ones, which are basically Strat saddles on a flat mounted plate rather than the ashtray bridges with the three saddles.
That's what I've got on both the one that I've taken apart and my Cabronita.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind that. It's fine. I'm cool with that. Your Cabronita's only a half plate though, isn't it?
Yeah, so because it's got a Booker in it, or the Fidelitrons rather than a single coil, it's only a half thing, and then it's the pickups are actually mounted to the wood rather than to the plate. And again, with the Tele Deluxe that I've got that's taken apart, again, that's a half one where it's only goes to the length of the saddles and then cuts off there.
I mean, to be honest, that's probably the best way of doing tele bridges. But I know the mounting to the stainless steel gives part of that tonal characteristic. While we're on the bridge pickups of tele are not my favourite as well. And it's starting to sound like I'm convincing myself that it's not the guitar for me, doesn't it? I usually put something that's got fat pole pieces in, so it's got more of a P90 sound, so it takes away the shrillness. I mean, I prefer it that way. I prefer something that can do rock in the bridge, that's not going to pierce your eardrums. But I know that it's not for everyone, and some people like the high twang of the tele. So I'm happy to leave that one be. However, the input jack, the original cup input jack, it's it's the fucking worst idea.
I mean, it's not. I can beat that because on my Cabronita, it's that locking fucking cup. You know, when they put the locking jack in the cup, and it's just the stupidest idea in the universe.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I like just a plate is fine by me. Like the Les Paul plates or
Yeah.
yeah. I mean the Stratocaster ones aren't bad, but they do mean that you can't have right angle jacks.
And they're also a pain. Yeah, unless you have a specific type of jack, you can't move the whammy bar sometimes as well.
Yeah.
And it gets stuck on the lead. It's a little bit of a design flaw to have a whammy bar that kind of floats over where the jack's supposed to go.
Yeah, but stylistically it looks pretty cool when paired up with the rest of the Stratocaster. And
Yeah.
Stratocaster tremolos are for ornamental use only. They aren't meant to be used.
We literally 5 minutes ago mentioned Jeff Beck.
Yeah, I mean, he's the exception that proves the rule. So, yes.
I mean, I'm David Gilmour, Eric Clapton. There are several people who've used it.
Clapton don't use the whammy bar, does he?
I'm pretty sure early on he did before he
realised that it was a
Before we
terrible
blocked
idea. Yeah, realised that there is no joy to be had in using a Stratocaster tremolo system.
Yeah.
So yeah, cup input jacks are just they aren't any good. And I own a Telecaster, my thin line Telecaster that has got a heel adjust truss rod. And you said before we did the cast, Matt, that you've avoided buying instruments because they've had that heel adjust truss rod, haven't you?
Yeah. I've in the past been to look at two guitars, and when I looked at them and they were heel adjust truss rods, I just gave them back to the people who were selling them and said, "Nah, this isn't for me. I cannot deal with that shit. I'm bad enough at adjusting them when I can see them all of the time. So to have to take the guitar apart to try and set it up just seems like the stupidest idea anybody's ever had."
Yeah, I mean, for when I adjusted the truss rod on this this thin line Telecaster, like I've mentioned before, I require a very specific setup on my instruments because otherwise it means that I can't play them for longer than 10 minutes without my wrists complaining. So when setting up this this Telecaster, I had to shim the neck as well to keep it more parallel with the strings. So I had to do that as well as adjust the truss rod. Took me about 4 attempts.
And that's the hassle you don't need. We've designed a better way of doing it.
Yeah.
Use that. I'm all for vintage looking instruments, but there's a reason that we don't use, nothing else uses that set in jack socket apart from Telecasters, because we realised that was a stupid idea.
Yeah, I mean, this does sound like we are absolutely bashing on the Telecaster, and it's not only Telecasters that have had heel adjust truss rods, and they were the only one with the cup input jack because people realised that was fucking stupid to start off with. But I mean, they were the first production electric guitar. Well, quoted as especially one of the biggest.
Certainly solid body. They were the first big one, weren't they?
Yeah. I mean, they did pretty well to start off with, didn't they? If that was the first effort.
Yeah.
They haven't got much better since.
All they needed to do was tweak them ever so slightly. I mean, none of obviously, what I've said is basically, I just like the look of a Telecaster, but the sound of a Les Paul. But I mean, all the things that you'll want to do is just make it easier for yourself to play the Tele or to modify the Tele slightly.
Yeah.
You're not actually changing the instrument entirely, are you?
No. I mean, the control plate is another thing that some people complain about, and I think it's brilliant. It puts the volume and the tone out of the way. The switch is kind of opposed at a right angle to how you're picking, so you're never going to knock it. It's perfectly designed, that is. I know some people flip the Tele guard and have the volume where the tone is. So
Buy a violin and piss off.
I mean, I have enjoyed violining with Strats before, but it's not something that I'm missing. It's not something that when I'm using my Telecaster, I think, oh, if only I could do this.
No.
And actually, the video that I saw of Jeff Beck, he was playing a Telecaster, and he was violining with the Telecaster as a standard control plate setup. So,
I mean, does he have the biggest hands in the history of humanity?
he was
That's quite a stretch.
Yeah, I mean, he was plucking the string with his thumb while violining with his little finger.
Okay.
So
yeah, I kind of get that.
Yeah, I mean, but I imagine big hands. So yeah, I mean, I like that about the Telecaster. I think the neck pickup in a Telecaster is one of the greatest pickup sounds you can get. Full stop.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there. As much as I love humbuckers, that neck, I guess, is it a lipstick coil, or does it just look like a lipstick coil, or I have no idea what you call it.
Yeah, it's just a covered single coil pickup. It's smaller than a Strat pickup. It's thinner and smaller, but because it's covered as well, it gives that. It's like really punchy tone. You get a kind of metallic.
I mean,
ness.
It's one of the greatest tones in the world. I mean, I'm a massive fan of Johnny Cash. I really like his stuff, and obviously the guy who played guitar for the Tennessee 2 or the Tennessee 3 or whatever they were, asked pretty much exclusively on the neck pickup for the first few recordings that they did, and I just love that sound. It's just a wonderful sound.
Yeah, there's something magical about it. One last thing that I'm going to complain about, which you don't see as much of a problem, do you, Matt? But vintage style tuners. I bloody
I've never
hate them.
really had an issue. I mean, the Telecaster that my dad put together, that I claim I put together last week or the week before, whenever that was, had the vintage style tuners on it, and providing you cut the strings before you try and tune it, I never had an issue.
Yeah, the only instrument I've ever had that has proven problematic for tuning was a Stratocaster with vintage style tuners on it. I managed to get all of the strings in and working, apart from the high E. I'd done everything that the instructions told me to do with it. I'd taken it about 2-3 inches above where the tuning post was and cut it, and then put it in, let it wrap. Got the tension up nice so that it wouldn't slip out, and every time it just popped out. It would just pop straight out. It was the only one that I've ever had that. Like, I've played cheap, shitty guitars that have got like.
I think we all have.
Yeah, I mean, tuners that are made largely of plastic, and they wouldn't even have that problem because they're the through hole posts rather than the split posts. So I think the fact that through hole post tuners were invented, it's better. In fact, I use disc locking tuners for a lot of mine because, again, saves me time, saves me hassle. I know it's not for everyone, but I don't think vintage tuners are. They're not needed anymore. We don't need that hassle.
Yeah. Again, it's just a slight upgrade on the original design, like we were talking about with the jack socket.
Yeah. It's all about just tweaking, yeah.
Yeah, just tweak it ever so slightly and you can get the perfect guitar.
And talking about old designs, Fender have done a release this week, haven't they?
They have done a release of an old design, but not a guitar.
No, it's an amplifier. Because Fender also make amplifiers, believe it or not. So this is a 59 twin. but it's not just any 59 twin. This is a Joe Bonamassa 59 twin.
So it's a 59 twin with a couple of grand added onto the price tag. Is that what you're saying?
It is indeed. It's exactly that. So, I mean, I don't know much about old Fender amps. I'm not pretending that I'm a little a tweed combo aficionado like Joe Bonamassa is, because he's got like one of each of the old tweed combos, hasn't he? He's got I can't even remember all of the names of them, to be honest. But yeah,
he's got everything though, hasn't he?
He has. So I believe twin speaker, 80-watt combo. I mean, that in and of itself, 80 watts for a combo. It's interesting. It's
Why?
high powered, apparently. So it's 3 12AX7s in the preamp. 12AX7s, pretty standard. 4 6L6s in the power section, which again, quite standard. The rectifier tube is a tube that I'd never heard of, which is the 5 AR4. Never heard of it. Didn't even know what the hell's going on with that. And the speakers that are going into this are specially made for this amplifier. They're called the Celestion JB85 speakers. Apparently voiced for high-powered rock.
Yeah, I mean, I take it. Is it a 212?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, I would bloody hope so for that. I mean, 80 watts. Yeah.
I as much as people like Joe Bonamassa, and obviously I have a slightly different opinion, but people are welcome to enjoy his music.
Yeah.
And enjoy the tone that he gets out of his vintage gear. But who is buying? It's the same as that stupid 100-watt John Mayer PRS amp. Who needs 80 watts or 100 watts? I mean,
Joe Bonamassa and John Mayer, I think they require that kind of power.
Well, he doesn't know. If he had a bloody 15-watt amp and mic'd it up, 99% of the people that watch him wouldn't know the difference.
Yeah, I mean, you see these pictures on the internet of like bands out on stage, and like they've got empty cabs and then like a little Fender twin at the back with a microphone in front of it. You got to wonder how many times that's the actual. But with Joe Bonamassa, he takes.
I know, right? He is using those amps, but why? Why would Fender? And I guess it's got Joe Bonamassa's name on it. It's obviously going to sell. He's got a massive cult following, and they could release it without anybody tubes in it, and people would buy it and probably never plug it in because they just want something with his name on to go with their sandals and their
beach towels. Bloody hell, yeah.
But where is the market for an 80-watt 212 in 2018? If this didn't have Joe Bonamassa's name on it, would it sell?
Yes, maybe. I mean, if you were looking to go and source one of the original 59 twins, you're looking at more than $3,500. I'm assuming. Like I say, I don't know, but I'm assuming that it'll cost more than that.
Yeah.
So I mean, for people who are seeking that tone and may not necessarily, they want the reliability of a modern amp, or don't want to have to go on Guitar Safari to try and find one that Joe Bonamassa's not bought yet. It's a nice, easy way of doing it. The fact that it's got Joe Bonamassa's name on it means that it probably will be a collector's item. I don't know. I imagine it will sound great because, I mean, Fender don't tend.
It probably will.
Yeah, but I know what you're saying.
I we're in 2018 now. 90%, more than 90% of people who are playing guitar,
Yeah,
will never ever need more than 15 or 20 watts in their life, ever.
I was running a 20-watt head at practice, and to keep up with the rest of the band, I had to crank the absolute bollocks off that 20-watt amp.
I've used my AC-15 in front of 3,000 people, and nobody said I was too quiet, and I wasn't even turned up
Yeah.
more than halfway.
I mean, maybe it's.
I don't see situations where you're going to need 80 watts of
Oh yeah. I
power.
mean, I'm not arguing that point. I'm just. I'd say kind of 45 watts is probably your maximum. It's
Yeah.
pushing it for most. I mean, I've got a 30-watt PV, and during practices now, I'm hardly even pushing 2 on the volume because it's that substantial. But I mean, yeah, it's exactly that. Yeah, wattage doesn't always equate to power. Or to the output of this, like the perceived volume.
I know, and also to be fair, the AC-15 is known for being a lot more than 15 watts as well.
Yeah.
Just like the 30 is not 30 watts, but
Yeah,
I mean,
it's louder than God, I believe the marketing.
you can, like I say, I used it on more than 5 twice since I've had it. Both times were outdoor gigs at what's called Bush's Beer Tent over here.
And both times you had a giant smile on your face, I'm assuming.
I had a massive grin on my face, but I was told both times to turn down by the sound engineer as well.
And you shouted, I can't hear you, my amp's really loud.
I pretty much, yeah. And I can't wait to do that this year because I've now got the hot cake on the right setting. I hadn't quite set it up properly.
Yeah.
But by June last year, so June this year, I cannot wait for, because it's going to be epic, and I can turn the amp up with anyone's ever had.
Yes, that's what we want to hear. I want to hear some video footage of this actually. Just you with your amp.
I will try my best. Well, they live stream at Bush's Beer Tent. It's live streamed on the internet.
Ooh, yes.
Share that in the Facebook group.
Give us a link to that in the Facebook group, definitely. So, I mean, you're using your AC-15 at the moment. I think I haven't gigged in a while, to be honest, but if I was going to gig, I've got a 40-watt Black Star that's sitting kind of about a foot away from me at the moment. I had to stop using that for practice because it was too heavy. Not that it was too loud. I think it suffers the same fate as the PV, where you crank it past like 1 or 2 and then your bandmates start saying, "Oh, I can't hear myself." Like they have to hear themselves.
What's your fault? Turn up.
Yeah, that's it. Turn up your drums. Yeah. Stupid drums.
We don't have that problem. Our drummer is the loudest drummer on the planet. We play quite a few. Well, because he's in so many bands, we've got a couple of guys who deck for us when he's not there.
Yeah.
And for certain venues, when he's not there, not because we're happy to play with a different drummer, I'd far rather play with Johnny just because I've been playing with him for so long now, and we kind of.
I'm sure there's an innuendo there. There's an innuendo. We gotta.
Can we gloss over that? Yeah, but I mean, I'd rather gig with Johnny as our drummer because we just have that kind of everybody's in sync when we're as the band normally is.
Yeah.
But the other two guys that depth for us, and it's so much easier to get
to get the levels all perfect.
Yeah, and we can bring everything down. And, we can play venues where it's in neighbourhoods that complain a lot.
Yeah,
Go into the night without a complaint. We'll never ever get to the end of the show without a complaint because we are quite loud as a band. But it's certainly easier for the rest of us to turn down a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. It's nice to have a drummer that you are well rehearsed with behind you though as well, and just having that kind of locking into that groove with a bunch of people you've rehearsed with and musically bonded with. There's no other feeling like that, is there?
No, not at all. Like I say, if Johnny could play a little bit quieter, I'd have him for every single gig that we do, just because it's just the being linked in and what's coming next, and it might not be exactly what's on the record, but that song for the last 40, 50, 60, 100 times you played it, you know exactly what's coming next, and if he pushes the speed a little bit, how to react and how much he's going to push by, and there's just little nuances like that. Whereas when you gig with somebody else coming in, whether it's on drums or whether we've done one gig with a new singer, 2 gigs with a different bassist, and about 5 or 6 with different drummers, and you're always kind of waiting for something that never comes, and then you get thrown off your stride a little bit, and it's quite difficult to get back into it.
Yeah, definitely. One thing I did want to talk about actually was the trend that's kind of moving away from the giant overpowered heads. When I first started gigging, there was a lot of 412s being wheeled into small venues. And it's been declining more and more over the years, and I don't think I've been to a venue recently where I've seen a large amplifier, an abundantly large amplifier. But you
see,
you're saying
over here, there seems to be. I'm pretty sure it's probably because the Isle of Man is 20 years behind the rest of the planet when it comes to everything. So, I mean, we have to be stuck in the mid 90s at the moment, where people were still using 50-watt Marshall heads in a pub that has a legal capacity of 88 people in a room.
Yeah. I mean, I remember back when I was probably about 18 or 19, I used to do covers. Like I was in kind of covers band, and there was a local venue that would have our band on quite a lot, but then would have tribute acts at the weekend. And just the one night I was sat outside the venue in someone's car, for whatever reason, and I heard an Aussie tribute warming up and doing sound check, and the guitarist's amp was so loud that I could hear every note that he was playing inside, sat outside in a car. I could only imagine how loud it was in the room. I mean, you couldn't really hear the drums, and the vocals you could make them out a little bit, but the guitar, I could pick out every note that he was playing. And I don't think you get much of that anymore.
Well, I mean, you were talking about they used to have tribute acts on afterwards. It's reminded me of one band over here called A Little Bit of Rosie.
Ooh.
They are a AC/DC tribute act. Now, the last time I saw them play was in a pub called The Creek, where the bar where the music is, the capacity, I'm pretty sure the fire regulations is 108 in that room.
Yeah.
And the bassist had an 810.
Okay.
And both guitarists were using 50-watt Marshall heads with 412s. And the PA system, they had 4 tops and 2 bass cabs, because if they didn't have that, then you couldn't hear the singer. And I couldn't ever go in that room. The pub has a corridor through to the lounge bar, which is about probably a 10-meter corridor, and then the lounge bar is obviously connected by the bar and that corridor. And I could just about stand being in that other bar without being deafened, but I couldn't have gone in that room. I'd have just been sick. It was just so loud. You don't need an 810 bass cab, 812s for the 2 guitars.
Yeah.
It was just far too much, and
just firing noise at you.
They're fine to do that when they play things like the Villa Marina, which was the stage that I shared the other week, where it's in a room for 2,500 people.
Yeah,
but not for a room for 108 people. It's just not okay.
No, but unfortunately, they've bought the rig to play the prestigious gigs, and the pubs just have to put up.
Yeah, and it's just slightly annoying sometimes.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I think the trend has moved away from that, from what I've perceived anyway. But I don't know. I'll have to go out and check out some of the local bands and see what's going on in the scene today.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've got to move on to some questions. We've got a couple, and we've got about 4 minutes to do the questions. So we'll knock them out like this. Knock them out. Or we'll run over like we usually do.
Just say we'll ramble on for the next half hour about them.
That's it, yeah. An hour later, we go, oh, yeah, those questions took a bit long. So our good friend Joey, the baby kangaroo, asked about tips for relicking a Strat. So I assume it's a Mexican Strat. It's aged a little bit over the time he's had it. It's now gone from Olympic white to nicotine stained yellow. And he wants some tips on relicking.
And with it being a Mexican, my tip would be don't relic it, because it's poly finish, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to assume so, yeah.
So you've got to get through that 3 mil thick of clear coating.
Yeah.
And
poly chips, doesn't it? Whereas nitro, it kind of wears away.
Yeah, I mean, if he wants to properly relic it, my advice is take the neck off it, take all of the electronics out of it, completely strip it back to the wood, refinish it in nitro, and play it for 50 years.
No, that's one way of doing it, I suppose. Alternatively, I mean, do half of that, strip it back to nitro. Refinish it in nitro, sorry, and play it for a good 5 years. But whenever you play, sellotape some sandpaper to your wrists. Just get that relic job happening quick. But I don't think
it's very, very fine sandpaper.
That's it. I don't think that's what he was after, to be honest. I don't think he wants to hear refinish your guitar. Yeomans did a pretty good job.
Take a belt sander to it and make it look like a teenager's done it.
Yeah, that's definitely the way not to do it. The teenage heavy relic guitar. Yeoman's first ever Squier Strat, he relicked that one up. And he accentuated some of the wear that happened on it normally, because, like you say, poly chips and whatnot. So I think he said that he used the flat end of a chisel to kind of accentuate some of the knocks that were already on it. Then finished it off with a bit of sandpaper to smoothen it out a bit, rather than having these big kind of chunks of poly finish cracked off. and then polish the crap out of it essentially. And his finish looks pretty cool. Obviously, being a cheap Squire Strat, the grain underneath is almost non-existent. So I mean that's another thing that you're gonna have to look out for with the lower price instruments. The finish that you're gonna show underneath isn't necessarily gonna be pretty. I think a lot of people were saying put a torque guard in it and leave it alone. And
they were. I think they might be saying leave it alone. I think you might have snuck in the put a torque guard on it.
Well, yeah, I'm a man for a torque guard. I'm trying to think of how many of my instruments don't have torque guards on. It can't be many. I know the Les Paul doesn't have a guard on. The Midtown has its tiny little black pick guard on it. The Fireman came standard with a torque guard. I've got my first ever Squire Strat's got an aged white guard. It might even be cream actually. And then I think everything else is taut. Just all taut all the time.
I've got taut on my 3-tone Sunburst Jazzmaster, and that's it.
Oh man, you need to fix up your torque game.
Why? What else have I got that needs a torque guard? I've got a cherry red Buddy SG. That doesn't want a torque guard on it.
With a torque guard, yeah.
I've got a gold sparkle Buddy, or not even gold sparkle, whatever not the Shoreline Gold Gretches.
Yeah, yeah. Champagne
gold dust, I think they call it.
Yeah,
that'd
look decent with a torque guard. Yes, get a torque guard on that one.
And then I've got my Shoreline Gold Cabronita that's got a mirror guard on it, because I put a mirror guard on it because it's better than taut.
Poor form, Matthew. Poor form.
What else have I got? What else have I got?
You've got a Telecaster that's not together yet.
Yeah, I haven't disclosed what colour it's going to be, but it won't work well with a torque guard.
It will.
I've got, well, it won't, but what else? I've got a silver, doesn't want a torque guard on it.
Oh, man, I think you've just made some poor choices. Where's your seafoam green instrument that's got a torque guard on? Because that is the colour combination there.
But I don't like seafoam green.
All right, I think that's where we need to end the call there, Matt. I think.
No. If we all like the same shit, everybody would have the same thing, and then we'd all be bored.
No, it's true that. But yeah, I think we've given you a few ideas, Joey. Yeah, I think the general consensus is just leave it be. But if you absolutely have to relic it, take the yeoman's method. Right, our good friend Paul Farrell wanted to know what the best mini-sized tube screamer, so kind of Moore-sized, I think he mentioned. I think we both came to the same conclusion on this, didn't we, Matt? But let's have a weigh up of our options. So Moore do one. Moore do the Green Mile, which is not a bad take on it. My problem with it is when you start upping the gain, it starts getting quite noisy. And that annoys the piss out of me. So,
and it's a TS9, that one, isn't it? It's a TS9 clone rather than the 808. I mean, he didn't say which of the tube screamers he wanted, whether it was a 9 or an 808 or some form of modded one or.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he mentions, but I think he has a predisposition towards gainier stuff. So
we probably want a 9. Yeah.
So I mentioned
Hotone do a copy, don't they?
I believe so.
I've not heard it personally, but I know that people quite enjoy their drives more than some of their other pedals. So
Yeah,
that might be one to check out.
I mean, I've got the High Tone Blues, which is the Blues Driver clone, and I like that better than I like the Boss Blues Driver. It was less noisy, more usable through the tone sweep, and I think there was a bit more gain on tap as well. Absolutely fantastic, and it's about the size of a 9-volt battery. It's absolutely bloody tiny. So you can't get much smaller than that one. What else have we got going on? There's a company called Mosky, I think it is. That a guy online who I follow on Instagram keeps mentioning this brand. And if they do a Tube Screamer clone, I think they do a Tube Screamer-esque drive. It might be worth a look because their pedals are coming in at like 20 quid, I think. But yeah, I think both me and you settled very early on for the Ibanez Tube Screamer Mini, didn't we, Matt?
Yeah, well, I mean, as I mentioned rather often, my lead boost for the last, I'm pretty sure, 2.5 years has been a Tube Screamer Mini.
Yeah.
I can't fault it. The gain, because it's an 808 rather than a 9, there's nowhere near as much gain as there would be from a TS9 copy.
Yeah.
But you don't really need it. I think Tube Screamers are more about changing where your guitar is sitting in the mix rather than adding
it's
extra
better
gain.
presence, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think TS Mini is just, it's unbeatable. They're quiet all the way through the level. The gain, there is gain there. I mean, like I say, I think I have mine set quite low because I'm not really after adding any extra gain. I'm just after adding a bit more presence and a bit more volume. And
yeah,
I can't see past the TS Mini. And I think they, who's coming in at like 40 quid, you've got to pay an extra 25 quid, but you're getting it that would cost 200 quid in housing.
Yeah, I think I've seen the TS Mini go for about 35 to 45 quid on the on like these gear exchanges and whatnot. So
yeah, I
would say every day look for one of them. I mean, it's so tempting that I think I might even look for one of them because I'm using a Moore Green Mile as my solo boost at the moment, and because I use it on quite low gain settings, it does the job. But I think if I wanted to just add a bit more grit, the TS would be the one to go for.
I mean, Ibanez did it right the first time when they made the 808.
Yeah,
and there's like I say, the Mini in that housing, the 808 in that Mini housing is just phenomenal for the price point. I mean, I've tried a couple of other pedals, sort of like as boosts, and I've cost twice what the TS Mini costs.
Yeah,
and gone back to the Mini because it's just the best thing for lead boost out there.
Yeah, definitely. I did like the super hard on. I thought that was quite nice for just giving it a boost. I don't know how childish do you have to be to laugh at something called the super hard on. I mean,
be to name a pedal a super hard.
That's it. Yeah, I think I need to do one that's called the hyper erection. Just that's the way I roll. We're gonna finish it up with a final question, which I don't think we're gonna have too many answers to. Our good friend Jonas, He's Dutch, so it's probably Jonas. Interval reference songs, so songs that give you the sound of certain intervals to kind of train your ear to hearing those intervals. Do you have any of these, Matt?
I mean, I'm not very good at working out what intervals are, so the only things that I can think of are songs where there's lots of chords that give you the sound of what a chord of that interval would be. So
Yeah.
the one that sticks in my head is the intro to When the Sun Goes Down by the Arctic Monkeys.
Yeah.
And apart from that first chord, you got minor sevenths and dominant sevenths.
Yeah.
And I think a major seventh in there as well. So if you want to hear the different sevenths,
Yeah, the tonality
just that
of the
intro.
sevenths,
Yeah, that intro will just take you through the difference between. I mean, you can then, even if you try to learn it yourself, you can just place the finger in to make it just a normal minor chord, and then the minor seventh, the normal D chord, and make that a D dominant seventh, and
Yeah.
just hear those slight differences.
Yeah, hear the differences between them.
The massive amount of difference it makes.
Yeah, it really
tonally to
does,
the
doesn't
song.
it? It really does. I was thinking about this less kind of based on the harmony, more based on just the straight intervals themselves. So I was thinking of songs like "Hold Back the River" by James Bay, the main riff for that song, and "Many a Horror" by Biffy Clyro. They both use this kind of it's just root and third of chords, and that's I mean the root is a complete octave and a bit below the third, so you can really pick out the two different tonalities that are going on. So that one's a great one for kind of learning what the different types of third sound like, especially in a diatonic kind of framework as well, because those riffs follow the kind of diatonic chords really well. For the sixth tonality, I think "Story of a Quarryman" by Joe Bonamassa. That's got a sixth harmony above it, so that's quite a cool one. But it's quite a cluttered sound, that is. So it's difficult to pinpoint the sixth. I know I was having trouble when trying to work that out for you, Matt. I pegged it as a third. I think.
Didn't you?
Yeah, I think I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's loads of stuff like that. And I think if you want to get a Mixolydian tonality without leaning on the blues really heavily, "Norwegian Wood" by the Beatles, the melody to that does a Mixolydian thing. But I think that's all that come to mind at the moment. If you have got any songs that you think have got like really cool interval references to help Jonas, post them in the Fret Talk podcast group, because it'd be really cool to help him out with that.
Yeah.
And I think we're gonna do our outro now. So yeah, talk to us in the Fret Talk podcast group as well. You get your questions read out on the show. You also get any topics that you want discussed onto this show as well. Thanks for all the guys who have been contributing to the Fret Talk podcast group recently. It's making it a really cool place to hang out. If you want to catch me online, you go facebook.com/budgetpedalchap, instagram.com/budgetpedalchap, and my YouTube channel is not /budgetpedalchap. Not yet. It will be. But all the stuff's in the show notes. Matt, where do we find you?
If you want to find me, the best place is still the Fret Talk podcast group on Facebook. If you want to see my band, it's facebook.com/switchiom. If you want to get me on Twitter, it's at Manxchels, so that's MANXCHELS. And yeah, just whichever one of those platforms you want to get in touch with, feel free.
Cool. And if you have got an interest in wrestling, he also does a podcast called the
Bad Bookers Podcast.
So check that out as well if you like your wrestling. So from myself, the Budget Pedal chap, from your other host, Mr. McQuine, that will be a goodbye and good night from us. Adios.
Goodbye and good night.
Tatty bye.